long plug is always difficult. Or there's more. Okay. So here is the circuit board. So I will plunk that down into this drive that gave us trouble. And then I will realize I cannot see as well as I would like to be seeing. Not that I think I would foul anything up. But you never know, you know. So I'm just doing a quick, oh, there's the read-write head thing. Swap of the board out. And I'm sure everything will be fine.
I am your father.
Yes, yes. I'm going to pop a screw in to help make sure nothing jumps around. And then, so here we have a board we know works with a drive we know is a little wonky. So, we're connected. Turn on. Oh, what happened here? Oh, aha! Yes, when you do not plug in the power connector, the board will get no power. Okay, so it's alive. So it will be back to, of course, drive 8. Huh. File not found. Imagine. This is with the test demo disc. And it does not want to read. So I will go back to my format scratch disk. Oh, I bet you it reads it. Or not. Nope. Oh, well, maybe not it will. Okay, it did read that much as it did before. I'll go back to the test demo disc. Oops. Try again. No. No. I'll try one other. Just to see what we see. Well. Interesting. So, perhaps my note from 4 years ago is accurate. For there is nothing to do with the circuit board. That makes a difference. So whatever issue there is lies within the mechanism. So let us look at the mechanism. It has been a long time since I have tinkered with speed or alignment. There is on here a teeny tiny potentiometer. I think that is a speed setting. Alignment is a whole other ballgame. Well, I may not be able to get too much further on this because I must brush up on alignment issues. But, so be it, I could easily enough tweak the speed, which, you know, might have something to do with this. It might not. But it's right there. So, first of course, I will install a screw. So, we're back together. The drive spins. We will be back to device 9. Oops. The switch is still switched. And indeed, with the same result. And I'm going to take my tiny little screwdriver and I'm going to tweak this sucker. Just a bit. Why? Because I can. And I find it makes no difference. So, I will tweak it back just a little. Oh, right. With the same epic result. So I'm going to tweak the speed back to where it was. Take out the disc. The drive is off. And I think this one is going to take a little rest. Because because, oh no, can't do that until the screws are back. So, oh, there we go. So it looks like maybe we have an alignment issue or some other thing. Ah. So this one will remain much as it began in 2014. Back together with a note. Perhaps alignment. But it is a pretty clean drive. And if alignment does not help, you know, parts are always good. Always good. It is less likely that it is some chip like the 6522 because it kind of works. Kind of. So, this one has not been a roaring success, but, you know, I'm working on a bunch of these because I'm hoping to actually figure out the answer to how many I have, but also, as I pick up lessons that I have forgotten, I will hopefully be able to streamline the fixing process. I certainly have parts around. So, this drive this might have been one I dropped a screw in. I think I did. I never got that screw. Yeah, I never got that screw out. Which is alright, because here it comes. Alright, so the screws are in place. It's funny, as I look at this thing, it looks like the Commodore logo on the top of this drive could pop out. Interesting. I will investigate further at another time. So, make sure the wires are all in. And then in go the screws. So in August 2014, this drive might have needed alignment. It is now 2018. And it probably still needs alignment. So I will mark this. And we will see each other again. Who's there? Where's Mr. Little Man?
How are you?
Hello. Well, here we are in 1541 land again. Oh no. Sheldon is coming. Hello, Sheldon. No, you can't get up there. No. No, you really can't. There's too many drives there. Hello, Sheldon. Just a moment. I'm going to move. Remember, we were working on this drive, this one. 4 years ago I decided it needed alignment, and it still does. So we're going to move on. That one also was one that had a funny switch between device 8 and 9, which was a beautiful thing, because in the old days, if you had more than one drive, you either had to permanently switch it, which was accomplished by, let's see here, here we have a 1541, and yes, inside the 1541 were, and this is not secure. Anyway, inside 1541 on the hello, Sheldon. Hi. Do you want to come say hi? Okay, Sheldon, come here. Ooh. Glasses make me dizzy. Come here, Sheldon. Yes. Come on, Sheldon. Let's look at this 1541 here. You see it? That's a disk drive. We're just talking about different devices. Oh, don't you get your claws into me. No, don't you get your claws into me. Oh, those are your claws. Okay. Sheldon, Sheldon, Sheldon. Here, let's say hello to the nice people. There we are. Sheldon, no claws. Sheldon, no claws. Okay. Okay, you just hang in here. That's good. I got you. I got you. Okay, so on the circuit board, there were these little, well, kind of circles, but they weren't. They were like a circle with a skinny little part in the middle of the circle. And if you wanted to change the device number, hi Sheldon, I have you. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. You would take a little X-Acto knife and you would cut through. Yes, yes, you would. So you could have 4 different devices, 8, 9, 10, over 11. And on some of the later drives, the 1541-2, there are switches in the back to do just exactly the same thing, which is better. I mean, here you are, you're buying this thing and they say you avoid your warranty if you open it, but yet if you have more than one of them and you really want to permanently change the, hello Sheldon, permanently change the device, you either have to go to your local neighborhood dealer, who would probably happily charge you quite a bit to take out 6 screws if it has a shield, and then take a little knife and go, eek, and that's that. And you could change them back by basically putting a drop of solder across. Yes, that's a disk drive, Sheldon. Yes, it is. So, anyway, a lot of people did put switches in because there were times when you might want it as mostly 8 or 9. 10 and 11 was rarer, but not unheard of, especially for someone who might have a lot of disk drives, maybe someone running a bulletin board. You know, there were reasons. There were, yes. Sheldon is purring. Yes, I know. Well, Sheldon, I have to put you down. I do. I know. Sheldon, look at me. Oh, I know. Sheldon's a happy boy right now. He is. But Sheldon, I gotta put you down. Let's go over here. I gotta put you down, Sheldon. I've gotta talk about the 1541 here. There we go. Nice key. Okay. So you know what I think I'm going to do? I know. Is I'm going to put my glasses on. No, Sheldon. No, Sheldon, thank you. And I'm going to try something new. Sheldon. In that, I'm going to shoot a quick video that shows what the jumpers, well, they're not exactly jumpers. They're referred to as jumpers, but jumpers imply, to my way of thinking, something you can stick something like a little connector on. But those right there, those little circles with a little, well, the one on the left has the little line intact, the one on the right, the line has been cut. Those are what you use to set the device of a 1541. They may be in different spots, and the later drives, of course, do have switches on the back, but those are what you're looking for if you want to make the change one way or another. Remember, of course, if you are not comfortable doing this, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. And if you're not handy with a soldering iron to change one back, don't do it. Get somebody you know who is happy doing such things. Anyway, so this is set on device 8 as far as I know, at least that's what I've been using it for. And there is the jumpers. I'm going to try and move in a little closer. There they are. Known as J3 and J4 on this. So, we'll go back to the main video. There. So that close-up video will be available with all the rest. I don't know what number this is. Anyway, I'm going to try. First of all, I'm going to try and find a better angle. I did shift the camera over a little bit so you could hopefully get a little better look at what's going on here. But also, I'm going to do more close-ups of things as they seem helpful. For example, I'm going to do another quick one here. I've got to get focused. So earlier on, when I was testing out Drive, which you may remember, I took out 5 chips that were in sockets, and there they all are. 2 6522s, a 6502, and 2 round chips, 901229-05 and 325302-01. They're all in sockets. The little green things are capacitors. You've got to be careful of them, and you have to be gentle. But it is better to use a strong screwdriver, a small strong screwdriver that is not likely to break. I have broken screwdrivers trying to get chips out, so that is why I use the screwdriver that I do. So it is small, yet it is strong, so that when you're gently rocking or prying ever so gently, that the screwdriver will not bend or break or do bad things to anything else in that process. So there are the chips. Now, the 325572-01 is not normally socketed. It can be, but it is not. So, and there are the little jumpers we just talked about. So, there we are, a little quick moment looking inside a 1541. Isn't that magic? So, here we have the drive I've been using to test other drives with. I have secured nothing here. So, this might be a good time to grab yet another 1541 and see what we can see. So, by the way, I am trying to get it organized. You know. So, I'm just gonna go over here and grab, another 1541. Looks a little dirty on the back. Aha! So in August of 2014, I apparently looked at this. Probably at another time when I was trying to get organized. And it said, dead spins, So, you know what, maybe before this up, I will confirm this diagnosis. Dead spins. This is exactly the same as one of the drives we looked at before. There are no lights, and the drive just spins. And if you remember rightly, we went through and checked all the chips, and nothing helped. Of those chips, anyway. Grand. And it ended up there was something else with the circuit board. Now, we were able, in that process, to harvest some other chips and determined that in fact the drive mechanism was okay. So that's why I like working on things like this, sort of. That doesn't feel like there's a screw in there. Well, one after another if I can, so that then I can remember what it is that I have figured out previously, which may, that doesn't sound right, which may have come back to me anyway. Oh, look at that. 2 screws were missing. This case is looking, well, it's got some scratches. And it looks like maybe a Coke exploded in the vicinity. So we'll set that over here. We have no shield. This too is the shorter of 2/3 version. And everything looks, oh well, the power connector's a little wonky. Not really in position properly, but that will not make any difference. Because it spins. Now, I will do, as I have done before, I will push down and reset the chips. And I will turn it on, and it will make no difference. So, knowing what I know from things that we have recently done, the chances of me fixing this one are pretty remote. But harvesting chips is never a bad thing, especially as we're working on other disk drives. So here is what I propose at this time. I'm going to take this board off. 7 screws, don't you know? Always best to unplug when you're working around such things. Oh, someone has been in this one. The screws are missing. So, off comes the power connector. Off comes all the other connectors. And out comes the board. And I look underneath, and it looks pretty okay. But as it happens, right here, right behind me, is the board we've been using to test things with. So, I will very carefully put it in place, plug in the little connectors and the big connector, making sure none of the wires get hurt. And then the read-write head. And then the power. And as I am I daring? No, I'm not that daring. I am going to put a screw in place here. I was thinking of not, but one little shift and something could go bad. So everything looks well lined up. I will now take the power, plug it in. So, just before we do this, let's have a look here. These, okay. So these are all the connectors that I speak of. The one on the left with the red and the black definitely goes to the LED at the front that just says that the power is on. The one on the right goes to the read-write head. And the others, they go to the drive and they handle things like the, well, everything, the stepper motor, back and forth, round and round, all that stuff. I've never really investigated exactly what they do, or which is responsible for what. So here are the connectors, they slide off. They all have a little kind of a, I call it a witness mark on the one side, meaning that this little kind of edge on the one side, which I think I can get to here. Yes, you see there's a little edge, kind of, where are we? It's just a little lip, always goes to the inside. This is handy if you take something apart and you don't put it away, or put it back together right away. So, there's all the connectors. And now in a second, we're going to plug, no, we plug this drive in, we're going to turn it on. So, new board installed, everything is dandy. We'll turn it on. It spins, the lights come on, and it stops spinning. So, now, I do not have screws. I have one screw in here, so I must be very delicate. So let us take out the 1541 test demo disc. I'll try and load the directory. And it does load. So, we will load the, what have I done? Oh, hang on, I doofed up the loading. We will load the performance test, because we can. And the drive sounds good. There it is. The 1541 test demo disc. And here is my normal Stratch disc, which I will put in. I will type, run, and we'll get this ready so we can watch this. So, we are not focused very well yet, but we want to focus. Okay, so here is the disk drive. I'm about to press return. And the drive is now formatting. And had I thought of this a little better, I would have made sure the light was perhaps shorter. But anyway, you can see that the drive is in fact spinning, and you can hear the sound of the stepper motor. And if you watch carefully, you can see that the head, that black thing, is in fact moving and stepping across as all of the tracks and sectors are formatted. And it's funny, that little thing on the top that's spinning, sometimes they spin, sometimes they don't. Doesn't really make a difference. They're just supposed to hold things in place. So I think the format is almost finished. And then, when it is, it will go, there it goes, it's back to the middle, and now it is opening a file, and it's going to write to the file, and it's going to read from the file, it's going to do all the things that this test does. And if we back up a bit, we can see the power light is on, the activity light is on steady, that's what we want to see. Flashing lights typically mean it is struggling. So let's move in a little bit. Okay, so we hear the stepper motor as it is writing, I believe. I can't really see over there right now. And at some point we'll do this again with the drive perhaps facing the other way. So it says it's supposed to take 80 seconds for this test, but as we see here, it does take much longer. But soon will come the time when it will finish opening a file, writing to a file, reading from a file, testing a file, scratching a file, and then it will go from one end of the tracks to another. That's in from 1 to 35 and 35 to 1. Aha, things are happening. And I suspect any moment. There we go, from one end to another, and back. And it tells us that this disk drive has passed. And that 80 seconds is about 3 minutes. Can you imagine? So here we have another 1541 that seems to be happily working. There is a little hair in it. Can you imagine? So, and I'm just thinking, maybe that we just did we'll do again. I will, at some point, find a way to hold this better than me. So, I'm going to type in, watch this, there's my toolkit, there's my envelopes. So, we're going to start recording. I'm going to type in and I do have the same scratch disk in the drive. I'm going to hit return. Oops. Yes. There is one thing that is always very handy, and that is if you actually turn the power on. So, the power is on. I can focus here. I will type run one more time. I have the same scratch disk, and now we can see better. I'm just trying to find a nice place to sit here, very steady. But you can see much better what is going on. And that the head is moving as it's supposed to. Maybe that's the place we want to be. I think I might stop this and start again. it looked to me like that was not terribly in focus. So here we have the drive moving the head in better lighting as it formats a disc. There we go. Okay, so it is finished, that part, and now it is writing. It is open to file, it is writing to file. Why do I know that? Because I see it on the screen over there. And I know what this thing does. So maybe that's enough of that. Because at this moment, it's much the same. It spins. Perhaps I will start recording again. Am I in the light there? When we get more to, okay, it's going to move the heads a lot. I'll try and get a good angle, hopefully in focus, and we should soon see that the head will go back and forth. It is now reading data that it has written to the disk, which it always seems to do. I don't know what it writes, but it writes a bunch of stuff. We could look at the program and see. So I think it is almost done. And then, there we go. Back and forth, back and forth. Isn't that magical? And the drive has passed, and now it stops spinning. So, at this moment, we have another mechanism, which is good. And a drive, or a board, something on it is bad. What is bad? I don't know. Not as of yet, but this does seem to be another time to look into the possibility of harvesting. Now, there is also a chance that it's funny, in Magic, they always try and do the same thing in a different way, so you can't really catch them. There could be one of the chips that I have changed on the other drive that did nothing. There could be one of them that is wrong, that is producing the same sort of looking. So I'm just looking at the boards here. They are I think close to the same version. This one's made in Japan. It doesn't really matter. They're all used much the same in the way of chips. So, I think I will start with a 6522. The other thing, of course, is you could have multiple failures, just to throw things off. So, we have a 6522 chip out. I will pull out this one, 6522. I'm going to set it over here so I know from whence it came. Not that I would ever mix anything up. And then I will carefully line this up, give it a little push, and turn on the drive. Good. So that seems to be fine. The light came on. It did not spin endlessly. I'm not going to run the performance test over and over and over and over and over. Now here we have one. This one is more difficult. This one here is not next to a chip in a socket. And then there's this big capacitor in the way. So, oh, this is when I twist the screwdriver very gently and try not to hurt anything. And we are getting there. I have it mostly out on the one side, but not on the other. But I think, once again, do no harm. And yes, I have seen the chip holders that go on each end, and I have used them. But I find if you do slip, you can do much more harm than good. Okay, so the pins on this are looking okay. This one was made in Hong Kong. Oh, well, sorry. I cannot test this one until I take this one out. And if I was sure I could record this without hurting anything, I would record. But I need two hands here to line up the chip. Get it lined up on the far side. Ooh, that doesn't feel right. What do we got going on here? One pin is a little, it should be alright. Okay. So we line it up. Whoa, still doesn't feel right. And now it's kind of half in and half out. Okay. This is not the time to go crazy prying. Oh boy. Okay. Now, I'll look at these again. They all look okay. I'm going to start going in on the other side first. Or maybe not. Just to make sure I get a good push on it. Whoa. Okay. So that one is in. Looks okay. Turn on the drive. And light comes on. Drive spins. Good. So now go for the 6502. And maybe, if I'm careful, I can do a close-up of this removal. So here we have the 6502, and there we have my screwdriver. You see, I'm using the other chip and doing my best to avoid the capacitor. Also, I'm only putting it down the sides so I don't risk hurting any of the traces on the board, because that would be bad. So this is a little more difficult with one hand. I'm going to go right down to the far end, and oh, looky, the chip is out. $65.02. Now, we'll go to this board and check very carefully to pull this one out as well. And once again, from what we know from our previous explorations, all the chips are fine. Everything is dandy. There's something else that is not socketed that we cannot check at this time. So I take the 6502, the heart of the beast, we line it up, we push it down, it's all in, we turn on the power, oh ho! Okay, this is different. The lights come on and the drive spins. Let me double check the pins. They do seem okay. Let me just take this out of here with great care, and I will double check the pins. The ones on the end are a little bent, but they're all intact. Everything looks okay. Well, well, well. Look at that. Now, I'm going to try to put this in again. Just make sure. Looks good, looks dandy. Turn it on. Lights are on. Drive spins. And, as I'm suspecting, if I reset, it does nothing. And if I try and communicate it with it, it just freezes up. Ha ha! Okay, so look at that, just like the magicians say. Same trick, different means. So this, I'm suspecting is bad. So I'm going to put it in this envelope with the bad 60x22 chip. Maybe later I'll turn it into something cool. And I will add 6502. Okay, so right, so I'm going to pick up this 6502. Got myself with the marker. And I'm going to put it back in. Making sure that we're all lined up. We're all lined up. Turn it back on. And now it quickly comes to life. And if I try, it reads the directory. Whoa! So, imagine. Now, the thing that's different though is the lights. The lights, or the LEDs, did not function on the other driver. I'm having capacitor trouble here. They did not come on at all. So I think we may have a multiple failure. But we will see what we can see. I'm just having trouble with this round chip. Sometimes the last two little legs. Hello. Oh dear. Oh, I hate when that happens. I don't like when they snap out like that. But a little bent. Nothing serious. So this is the 901229-5. So I'll take that out. And then from this board which is the one that would not function. I will get the other one. In some ways, it is easier to get things out. There we go. When the board is nicely affixed to a disk drive. But it is not. So alright, so there is the ROM chip. A little bent on the feet. Not bad. I'll put it in. It's in. We're good. We turn it on. And we are good. We are responsive. We are happy.
Happy, happy, happy.
So, one more somewhat difficult ROM. I just did push a capacitor gently out of the way, which I don't like doing. But they've got little legs, and they're pretty strong. There we go. Don't want to snap one off in the top. So, we have a ROM chip, and now we need to remove another ROM chip. Come on, there we go. Oh, a little bit. Not bad. Okay. So now, we'll put this one in. Whoa. Alright, seems to be in. Turn on the drive. Drive response. Excellent. Okay. So look at that. Same symptoms. Different. Somewhat different issue. So we are going to load the performance test. And run. And see that everything still functions. So what do we have here? Well, we have a disk drive. The mechanism seems to be just fine. We found a bad 6502 chip. Here's the board that came out of that disk drive. There are no other socketed chips to check at this time. And because the failure appeared to be the same as the other failure we had, where putting a whole bunch more chips back in produced nothing different. I don't think I'm going to, at this moment, take the time to put chips back into this, because I have a feeling, because the way it spun with the lights off, that the problem still exists on here, and it just so happened the 6502 was also bad. So I'm going to put this board with the other one that was similar. And at some point, maybe when I find my solder sucking tools and things, delve into that. Or those two. So, they are the same. And here we have a drive that seems to be fine. So the mechanism is fine. The board is not. So, as the performance test goes on, oh, it's almost done. I think what I will do is call it a day for now. And we'll look at something else next time. Probably another 1541. They seem to be in season. But we'll see. Anyway, so as this continues to spin and do its thing, I think I will tip my hat to you, remove my glasses, and until next time, the unit has passed, imagine. Until next time, we'll see you again. Hello. So, last time we took on a 1541 that had the same symptoms as one of the first ones we ever looked at. And, strangely enough, we found a bit of a different result. The 6502 chip was bad. But that did not make it fail the same way as it had failed. The drive did spin. The lights, though, they came on. So I did set aside the board for future investigations. Hello, Sheldon. So this is our test board. And here is yet another working drive mechanism and power supply and such. I'm getting a lot of and suches around here. So, here's the top. Hello, Sheldon. Yes, oh, Sheldon. Sheldon, I know. Okay, come here. Come here. Oh, that does not feel nice. Come here, kitty cat. There we go. Okay, so, I'm sure most of you are familiar with Sheldon. As soon as I press record, he appears. Don't you, Sheldon? So, What? Yes. And he purrs so nicely. Yes, he does. Don't you purr nicely? Don't you? Yes. Yes, you're a nice kitty. Yes. But you know what? I have disk drives to look at. I do. I have disk drives to look at. So you know what, Mr. Sheldon? Mr. Sheldon, I know. I know, Sheldon. Nice kitty. I need to put you down. Yes, I do. I'm getting an itchy forehead, actually. I know. If I could work like this, maybe I'll try and find some sort of a sling that I can work on things and Sheldon can just lie here. Right, Sheldon? I'm not sure you can hear Mr. Sheldon purring. I can. If I had a free hand, I would pick up my iPod Touch and do a little film of Mr. Sheldon here. But I don't have a free hand. Okay, Sheldon, I've got to get back to some disk drives. I know, you're all comfy. There we go. I'm not going to let you fall. There we go. Nice kitty. Okay, go play with Penny. So, yes. Oh, so why am I looking behind me? Because I'm running out of spots to put things. I have lots of extra parts here. But what I really want to do is put this down over here because I know that it works. And at least just for the moment, set that there. I'm not going to plug it in because that's the one I'm using to test things with. I don't want to mix them all up. I don't. I have readjusted the camera a little bit so you can hopefully see a little bit better here. So, what I'm really going to do is take this and set it behind me. And I'm going to go over here and hopefully without causing any kerfuffle, grab, yes, a 1541 disk drive. There is no note on this one. It's a little dirty. Oh, there is a disc inside. I don't know where it came from. Maybe it came with the drive. Anyway, I'll give it some power. I'll turn it on. Oh, nothing. There is not a sound to be heard, a light to flash, and anything. I wonder. They do have fuses for a reason. Oh. Well, look at that. Huh. There is no fuse. None at all. Well, it would be difficult to get much of a reaction out of something like that. So, I suppose I will go over to one of the other drives here. that I know is working. I'll put a fuse in. Now, if there is something terribly wrong, perhaps the fuse will blow. Perhaps we'll see smoke and flames. Or perhaps the drive will turn on and appear to be quite happy. We will see. That's right, we have no disc in there. Oh, alright. Here's my scratch disc. We will try to load the directory. Oop, it is noisy. It is loading. It is listening. Look at that. So I know you know what's next. Yes. The test demo disc. We will load. The performance test. And at this moment, it is loaded. I will run. I have my usual disk in. It's got a good strong thumper to it. And we will see. Huh, so, a fuse of all things. Can you imagine? This one too is, oh, a little dirty. But you know, a lot of people who were of course of age would sit at their computers and smoke and smoke, smoke. Funny, I'm just wondering where that shadow is coming from. Maybe it's just from the monitor. Cat fur. Okay, so that is running. Well, that is running. Maybe I will go over here. And not wanting to cause any kerfuffle. Grab. Wait for it. A1541 disk drive. So, the drive that is testing is doing its thing. And this one has sort of a big scratch across the top. It has the flippy door I like. So we'll just wait for this to complete itself. I only have but one power cable close by. So this drive is testing after replacing the fuse. It's opened, it's written, it's closed, it's opened, it's reading. And probably it's going to pass. Probably. So we'll check this one. And then we'll see. So right now we have a stack of 1, 2, 3, 4. That's what everything's sitting on. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And I know there's a couple more. 14, 15. So Carl, I still don't know. So anyway, this drive seems to be fine. So without moving it, just turn it off. I'll disconnect the serial cable, plug in the power cable, and turn this drive on. And we find it seems to be dandy. The lights came on, it spun for a moment. Without any more ado, let's run the performance test. These ones may not be very taxing on my troubleshooting abilities. Perhaps. Actually, you know, I think what might be throwing the shadow is the camera. So, Disk Drive City. So they certainly did make a lot of different versions. Oh, wait a sec, I forgot. No, I think we're up to 17 of this drive. I don't mean internally, but externally. And then came the 1541 too. Let me count again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Oh, there's another one over there. 14. 15, 16, 17. Oh, we're at 18. Which means that we could have four setups with 4 drives hooked up, all with different device numbers, and a 5th one with a couple. So this is now running its tests. It is writing, and it seems to be okay. I'm not recording the screen at this moment because there really isn't much of interest on the screen to show. But I will record little bits of things that I can, that I think would be helpful. I think I shall. And these 2 drives certainly are not proving challenging. So this one is almost done. But not quite. So eventually, once I get all this settled and figured and sorted, I think I've said before, I do want to try and recreate a picture that was on the front of the Transactor magazine years ago. And I don't think I have enough dual drives quite to do it, although right here, next to here, I'm not sure you can see, it's a stack of 4. And there are, oh, this unit has passed. Well, these ones are not challenging. Although the fuse, you know, gotta have a fuse. So maybe for the moment, I'll just leave those on the stack. The problem right now is there are 2 more drives that I can see, but there's a monitor on them, and then a box on that, and a box on that, and a box on that. So that makes it difficult to get them. So I'm just wondering if there's any housekeeping things to do here. Are there? Well, I certainly could put some of these back together, sort of. But I don't think so. We're still in progress here. Let me just look over here. There could be another drive handy. Right up here, of course, I'm not sure you can see that. That is an SFD 1001, which is the same as an 8250, but it looks like a 1541. And at some point, I didn't put 2 chips back into it that I should have, because I was working on it. And then I stopped. I was tinkering on other disk drives, which is a fine thing. It's just I gotta find those chips again to make it work, because it was always very stable. So let me just look and see what I can find here. Oh my. I just looked down, and under a stack of magazines, there are 3 more 1541s. So I don't know, is that 21? Let me just look over here for a second. Oh. Look, it's another 1541. A creamy one. There is